Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today for another edition of Watercolor Workshop with Jyotsna Umesh. My name is Jeremy Worley, and I work in the Program Department of Loudoun County Public Library. If you have any questions or comments during today's program, please feel free to use the chat box and I can relay them to our artists. It is my pleasure to introduce Jyotsna Umesh. She is winner of the Loudoun Books and Arts Plein Air Contest, and we are lucky to have her as a friend of the library system, as not only does she help us out with these watercolor workshops, but she also hosts in-person portrait sketching programs every month. She will be at Brambleton, Gum Springs, and Ashburn in June. So if you're interested in learning to draw, how to create a realistic portrait, come out because they're a really cool space to be at for like an hour, hour and a half to sit around people of our community. It's fun, and there's nothing better than just drawing sketches. So if you're interested, definitely check our programming guide and come out. And so without any further ado, here's Jyotsna. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Jeremy, and welcome everyone to this workshop today. So we are going to paint this scene, which is a cafe, and I got a lot of comments and feedback on, hey, this looks amazing. So what you're going to do today is rendering your version of it. Okay, so the intent of doing this is that this can be tweaked in many different ways. So if you can see next to this is the same picture, but color coordination, color is very different, right? If you look at the greenery, it's very different. So I'm going to show today, I'll probably use total different colors. So you don't have to exactly use the colors that artists use. Play around with some colors. Somebody likes really bright red rather than a lighter version. Go for it. So I will share some of the techniques today. And one of that to start with is the tones. So as far as we have, and I'll just do a quick study of that. So I have these colors right now. I'm sharing. Let me take just one color, any one color from here, which is ultramarine blue, and I'll show you how to get all three tones: light tone, middle tone, and dark tone. If you have all three tones, your painting will look good because it has, without knowing too much details, you know the principles and you apply it. So let's start with a very basic tone. And when I say the tone means how dark or light it is, okay? So let me just keep my palette here so you can see. And for everybody's reference, there is a link Jeremy has posted that has a drawing for this, so you can draw. All right, so I'm using one middle medium brush. It's a round brush. Taking lots of water and very little paint. Lots of water. Now you see, what do you get? This is a light tone. So whenever I reference light tone, I mean this color, very light version. Now add more color. It's still flowing very good, but it's darker than this. This is my medium tone. And let's add, without adding any water, I'm using really from the tube, direct from the paint. So once you play around with, take any color and do a light, medium, dark tones. And then when we paint, we introduce next to this, if I have to do a light, all I will do is take a clean brush. Now you see this is graded. Some of this technique is used in a wall for a painting, where it goes from light to medium to light, dark to medium to light. And while it is wet, you drop any color, opposite color rather, so if you know the color wheel, yellow, purple are opposite, green, red, blue, orange. So there's already blue. If I put orange, complementary color, and I'll just drop here. And I will let it merge on its own. And if it's not merging, I have a small spray bottle. I might just put these. And you can use gravity effect, move up, down. You can control the flow. That's how the color bleeding is achieved. So I'll stop here and just wait if anybody has any questions on what I just talked about, the tones and blending. You can feel free to type in the chat. Jeremy can read out, or you can unmute. We can unmute you and you can ask any questions.
Yeah, I'm checking right now. No questions as of right now.
All right, so let's take 5 minutes and I'm going to draw with you. So it has a cafe. It has this canopy, and there are 3 people sitting. There's a table, and again, this is an impressionistic form, so you will not have a very real kind of people with focus on their figures and everything. It's an impression. It's a genre where you have a realistic painting, impressionistic, and abstract. So this is the middle of that, abstract and realism. And then there are 2 people coming or chatting. All we got achieved is that where do you color the hair, so that if you color on one on the left and one on the right side, it seems like they're talking to each other, looking at each other, facing each other without giving any details. Then there are 2 people here sitting, and there's a lot of green foliage coming from top. So we'll try to achieve that. I will draw with you. Help me if you have any questions, feel free to. So when you're drawing, make sure there are 3, look in terms of shapes. So this is one shape. This is another shape. This is third shape. So just have some variety so that these 3 shapes are not equal. And remember, you are an artist. If you want to put more parts here and show some more greenery, more foliage, you can. If you want to do here, just play around and feel totally free when you're doing art. That's the best, that your expression. It's your expression. You're not going to put it in any exhibition. It's your creation. So play around with that. When we are drawing the center one, just have to make a little attention on perspective. this line, and then straight. This is one building, another level. And when you do a window, that's also parallel to that, these lines. And here, there will be some foliage. And I'm not drawing the foliage because then I'll be very restricted when I paint. So I want to be free when I'm painting. Anyone has cushions? I've left 20% for the road and 80% for the above. How are we doing, guys? You can thumbs up, you can chat and say
Yeah,
you
I'm
have
looking.
drawn.
No questions or chats as of yet.
If you have already drew, if you can put that you're ready, or otherwise I'll wait 2 more minutes before I start pick up my colors and share what colors I'm going to use today and what my supplies.
Someone said still a little bit more time for sketching, please.
Sure, yeah, and this is a little bit complicated. It's not like previous ones we've done where you have one boat and reflection. There's a lot of pieces, people, figures, canopy, building, windows, signboard, lamppost. So take your time. We'll wait for 3 more minutes. I'm keeping one more in case you want to see. There are
I'm
some
gonna
changes in both. Yeah, sorry,
I'm
Jeremy.
gonna unmute one of the attendees as a question.
Sure.
Go ahead. You should be unmuted now. Let's see.
What's the name, Jeremy?
Uh, Deepshika,
Okay.
can you hear me? Yeah, I unmuted
Deepshika,
her.
do you have any questions
She might
you
need
want to
to.
ask?
I unmuted you on the program. You might need to on the bottom part of the screen on the left hand side. You might have to press unmute. She says she can hear you.
Yep, I'm unmuted.
Oh, okay,
Yes, we
cool.
can hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Awesome. So, I joined a little bit late, so I
Mhm.
was just looking for what is the first thing that we need to do? Just the sketching?
Yeah, I initially I shared how to do um, tones, different tones. So you missed that, but this is like less water, little bit water, no water.
Okay.
So that part you missed, but this is just a fun practice for if you want to really warm up before painting. Pick up
Okay.
any color, use a lot of water, you achieve this. Use some water, you achieve middle tone. You no water, almost you achieve dark tone. And then
Okay.
we started into drawing.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So Jeremy, we have around 5 people or more.
We have 11 now.
Oh, okay. Good.
And also, just so everyone has a reference point, we record this for the YouTube channel. So if you kind of feel like you're lost or behind and you want to take your time with it, it will be available so you can stream it on the Loudoun County Public Library online programs channel. So
Yeah, that's a great point. And if somebody is looking to how to draw figures, I have a sheet of paper here and it's a pen so that you can see, but if it's an error I cannot correct it. It's a Sharpie. So what you got to do is, let's say this is a canopy. Freehand drawing. Here is, let's say, the table that people are sitting. One guy is standing, so we will have a probably taller. He may have something in his hand. And here are two guys sitting, so I'm making their heads a little lower than that because they are shorter. They're sitting, this guy's standing. And give them a different attire. One is wearing suit. This we can cover through painting, but here are two chairs. And all we did was plain lines, straight lines, and two people. Now it gives an impression that something is happening here, right? And now two people are standing, maybe this piece. So if I do here, this is the hair part, and now they may be talking to each other. So you just have to play around, and I will do one more very big. So it's called a contour drawing, where you're not lifting your pen or pencil, and head, body, so maybe this is something in his. So we didn't do much here, right? We just freely ourselves used our hand motion to play around and put a figure. This was a table. This could be two chairs. This was two chairs. So without doing much. All right, so how are we doing with drawing? Anybody's done? You want to put in chat or mute yourself?
Seems we have
Or
some
have
people
any
saying
question?
we have some people who
Yes.
said that they're done.
Okay. Anybody still drawing? If you can type in that you need a minute more, and then we'll wait for you and start painting. We have time. Once we start painting, it won't take too long because we will use, you see, I'm looking these as a shapes. I'm not looking as a building. Then it gets overwhelming. Oh, I need to do a building. I need to do canopy. I'm looking at a shape. I need to do one triangle, one rectangle, another rectangle. And these are another four, line shape, square, rectangle. These are parts actually, but I'm not looking at a part. I'm looking at the shape. All right, so it's 4:17. Let's start painting. I'll go through supplies since it's pretty, depending on what you're painting. I'm using this large flat brush. If you don't have, round works. I have another one which I'll use as round. I have an old toothbrush which I will use for splatter. All this that you see, it's achieved by old toothbrush. And take any rigger brush. It's very thin, long. That is for a linear, like these lines or this line, very thin. So that's about the brushes. Then I have, if I show you my palette, what I'm going to use. I have orange here. You can take any orange. I have ultramarine blue. So I have two complementary colors, orange and blue. I have yellow ochre. I have lemon yellow. Lemon yellow, I kind of like it for foliage. So I have lemon yellow. I have viridian blue. Sorry, viridian green. So viridian green and lemon yellow, that will take care of your all foliage. And blue, orange, that's pretty much it. I don't have any. I have burnt sienna in case if I need to just give some different, so that these two buildings don't look exactly the same. Any questions on materials or supplies? And I'm using today this block, which is Fabriano. You can use Arches, you can use good paper. If you don't have today, that's fine. But if you really want to get better at decent supplies, you'll have less struggle to improve, to get better at where you want to. Paper plays a big role because that's how it's going to absorb the color. So paper is my number one. Then comes my type of brush pigments. This is my second, and the last one is if I have to order from important point of view, then it's brushes. Any questions on materials, supplies?
Yeah, I don't see any questions as of yet.
Okay, good. So let's get ready and paint. All right. Do you mind typing 1 for left and 2 for the right one? Which one do you? These were the two different versions of same. And I want to see what's the majority. Like, do you like this better?
So far, we have 2 votes for number 2, the right.
This one, right one.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And today I want to use totally different colors. I'm kind of bold with these same because I've painted twice. So,
So
but let's see.
as of now, let's see, we have 1,
The
2,
word
3,
is
4, 4 for number 2, and then only 1 for the left one, number 1. So going by
okay. And
majority rules.
yeah, and art is very, very subjective. Something you may not like, somebody else may like a lot. So that's the interesting part. All right, so I'm going to put my palette here so you can see. This portion, if you cannot see, this is only for the mixing area, so don't worry. But this you can all see. Let me clean a little bit. I get greedy about, don't want to wipe all that. There's so many good quality paints here, so we'll use them in this building. So a lot of people ask, what do we start with? You can start with the canopy and go radially outside, meaning you can start this, 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 and go out. Or you can start with the building. There's no rule. Follow your gut feel. Subject tells you how to approach. Okay, so I might go today with the buildings first. Start with probably the left one. I want to make it more vibrant today, so orange, yellow. And I will leave place for my window. So going so far good. I have a clean straight line here because buildings are straight. That line needs to be straight here. And now I need to introduce another color, otherwise it will look very monotonous. Added yellow. While it is wet, it will flow because of the gravity. So I have 15-20%. If you don't have anything, see, I kept a box of colors here. It's giving me some inclination. Now I'm adding some blue. I want to make it a little purplish while going down. And darker, less water. Why? Because my canopy is white, so it'll look good, the contrast. And anywhere while this is wet, you can go back, apply stroke here or there. It'll just mingle and look good. All right, let's do this much. And I'll wait before I do the second one. And I'm taking a clean water and just sprinkling a little bit. Adds a great, interesting texture. But choose it any one place. Don't do overall too much, then you'll get overboard. Now, this is the decision time. I have to keep this as a light, and this again is dark. So I'm using something similar to this color, but change so that there's some variety and it's not a mirror image of each other. Any questions so far?
No questions as of right now.
Okay. I've done here, and now I'm doing a graded. I don't want too dark, so I'm going, see, lots of water. Leaving the signboard. And while I'm here, I want to introduce the greenery so that it's wet into wet and it looks good. So I'm taking the yellow and a little bit of viridian, makes it very springtime green, and with my side of the brush. I have this nice blended effect because of its wet on wet. And play, this is a calligraphy. You can use your brush and I think I'm good here. I need to think something over the middle one. I want it very light. I'm probably using a lot of water and orange, but 90% water. So I have, and I'm covering all windows also because it's so light that I don't mind. I don't want to leave anything white. And come to the canopy shape. And if you made any mistakes or something happened, don't worry because right now you're seeing only that part. When everything pulls together, that won't look too bad. So don't worry, continue moving. And now I'm going to give this wall same kind of color. So this is my first wash, and I'm covering the left side as well. Very light tone and cover all the way. It's okay if you cover over people. It's very, very light tone. And while it is wet, let's do the road. Go down, and now this is the warm color. We'll introduce a cool color, which is blue. Take a very light ultramarine and use that. Just going light one by one. My first wash is kind of done. And it's this first wash I've achieved gradation here, wet on wet here, dark tone here. So pretty much all the principles that I was sharing earlier. So I will stop here and wait until you do. So it's important to leave white. I have left signboard, left lamp. This is full. Some green is covering the canopy, that's fine. 2 windows. Probably a good idea while this is wet to use some of the greenery on this side just to connect the piece left side into right side. Not much, just throwing some colors here without thinking much. Later it will develop this into a foliage. Any questions from anyone?
No questions as of right now.
Right. So we'll wait 4 more minutes for you to catch up and type in chat window when you're done, or if you have any questions on this. And if you messed up, it's just not really messed up. It's a different version of you may have really not blended well. You may have a different type of green. It'll just look a different kind of uh, green foliage coming down. So don't worry at all. You don't have to match what I'm doing exactly. It's really fun, play around. While it's wet, I'm just throwing some light tone for my pots. I see here a lot of greenery, so could have done while it is still wet, almost dry. Doing a little bit sprinkling with my brush. All right, how's it going? Anybody wants to share the experience? How is it coming along? And we really love to see your, so a lot of times people share there. So my email is my first name, last name at yahoo.com. So one word. So Jeremy, if you can put like yours or mine, and then they can send us an email and we can provide you the feedback. Would love to see your
Sure.
creation.
Yeah, definitely. I'll post it right now in the chat. That way you guys can reference it if you guys want us to send us what yours looks like.
And I love it. Last time was the beach scene and somebody attempted the sand. So different way and it looked so appealing. So chill. I mean it's nice to see your version, your rendering. All right, so I now have to make this building is coming down. This needs to be a darker so that top piece and lower connects. Same way the right building. So let's do that. Make sure if this line is coming here, you're following that. Now this becomes part of that. Same way, this building ends here. Now I'm going to do these windows. These two are dried. I have a lavender color here which I'm using. If you don't have, you can take a very light of cobalt blue or ultramarine blue. And then I'm mixing burnt sienna to join this together. And taking a rigger, very small linear brush, take a dark ultramarine blue to make it dark, very dark. So whatever dark you have, if you don't have, you can make some, add some black. I have Payne's gray here, so. So I have my two center windows done. I'm going to do this one. Leaving some white here. This is burnt sienna. Not every window is exactly the same. I need to make this bit more darker. You see here some texture. So I'm taking same colors that I use, orange and yellow. And I'm going to, you see here, I'm going to splatter and take some water here, and this kind of gives a rundown or old some texture on the building. And when I'm going down, I need to dark this to enhance the canopy. Making a purple, orange, and blue. Rather, it's brown. And now it's getting the depth of it. I'll pause here to see if anybody has questions. This building, it's a little different than this because of the color. That's fine. It's a different day, different mood. I have to enhance this side of the canopy. Make a little darker, but then not too dark, and then slowly it will merge with this color. Only this portion will be dark. So I'm taking, let me clean it. How are we doing? Anybody wants to comment, share? It's hard. Is it coming okay? How is it you're looking?
Yeah, and if you guys would like to talk, I can unmute you. If you have any questions, just want to talk to us, feel free.
Well, it'll be good to know if if the instructions are fine, you're getting. You see, I only
Someone
did,
said a little bit
yeah,
slower, I guess, to catch up.
yeah, sure. I can definitely wait. But with the watercolor, while it is red, and if you have to get that kind of, response, two colors to talk to each other, you have to do it then, otherwise it'll dry. So I can wait after I'm done this piece. Yeah, see. So now canopy is starting to look better because this side is too dark and this side is also coming up. But I did not want this as dark as this because this is part of this building, which is very light. Now the fun part, I love when it's, you have to give their color, clothing, what colors you can use, and table, like it's just a chit chat, some noise you need to add. We'll now do canopies lower, the frill, which is darker than white. So I'm taking gray. So if you mix all three primary colors, you'll get gray. So it's light tone. And this white is looking too white. So I'm throwing some water here and pure ultramarine blue and just a one touch. That's it. Because it may be getting some shadow from sun. I needed to kill some of the white. White was too stark. Anyone wants to share your experience? How's it coming? You are done left side of the building and canopy. All right, let's do this lamppost. Again, taking lavender, you can take any color, any blue color, doing one side of it and taking clean water. Top I will do with the yellow. And once it dries, I will add pole. Right now it's wet. This building is wet, so it will merge. I'll just wait for that. And don't worry if this yellow is mixing in blue. In fact, a lot of great artists I've seen, they prefer that's where their right side talks to the left. That's where the top is. So they don't like very clear boundaries and kind of looks good in watercolor. So don't worry if it gets out of the control, it's just because we don't have that much practice. You need to get your brush mileage more, practice more. Once it dries, we can write the name of the restaurant and all that. I'm thinking where to go. We did this piece, we did here. We can move here. Add windows. I did not draw. I can directly paint. This has two windows. Or I can enhance the foliage. Let me do the foliage piece. Taking green, very dark one, which is viridian green and blue. Very small brush. Think in terms of the foliage, different directions. Now change the color. It will be monotonous otherwise. Different green. Added some lemon green. And now I need to do this brush, and I will splatter some. Very slowly it gets out of the hand. You see here, should have covered the paper. Should have covered it this and then done. Now it's all over here, but that's fine. We'll be okay. Now I'm doing some highlights on this. And I'll take it all the way down. And now I need to decide whether it's where to keep, because there are people sitting. So if it's in the front, people will be at the back. That's fine. I'm taking a dark and giving these pots three-dimensional look. So I'm doing only on the right side because sun may be coming from left. And it's very hard edge, so I need to merge. Same thing. And I like to give some flowers or something in these pots. I think some orange here. Again, you are the artist. Whatever you like, you can change the composition. All right, so how are we doing?
So far, no questions or comments. Seems like everyone's doing all right. If you feel otherwise, please feel free to let us know. Like I said, I posted both of the email addresses for Jyotsna and myself. So if you want to send us a picture of yours, feel free. We'd love to see them.
Yeah, we get at least 2 or 3 after every class, so nice. Okay, I'm just going to give between the canopy, like giving some shape. All right, so while it dries, I'm going to do a people and table without giving too much details. This guy seems to be wearing a lavender shirt and another one yellow. Table may have legs. And now, whatever was the bottom, we need to merge it. Level out. Now, I think we got it. This piece, 3 people, one standing taller, 2 sitting ones. And once it dries, then we can add the highlights. We can add the more darks. This guy right now is blue, nothing, it's white, so we can give some color, very light color. Just manage with water. The back table, I'm making it lighter because it's not in focus. Any color of clothing. So anybody done with figures or your own interpretation how you did this? Is because this is very impressionistic. One guy standing, 2 sitting, 2 here at the back. All right, so this foliage, I'm going to take this down below and put a pot or something because this area is pretty empty right now. This needs something. All right, any comments from anybody? Are we done where I am? Or do you want us to wait for 2 more minutes?
Yeah, no comments as of right now, but please let us know if you need a little bit more time. Let us know.
I'm writing the name of the cafe. Okay, it's almost developed. I feel we can do a little bit darker this lower road, and then it will, our eye will lead to the center part. So I'm going to wipe it, clean one side. Take ultramarine blue.
We got a comment that says, "Love doing the people in the windows. Thank you." And they will try and send a picture. So some good feedback
Awesome.
so far.
Very good. Thank you. This is
Thank
very
you for that.
motivating, and it really helps us to, if we hear any feedback. So you see, I'm going down and I'm adding a little more color. And now, right now, it looks two different patches, so I need to mix it. That's it. And then you can use gravity. So doing a little bit of this, it added an interest. What do you think, Jeremy?
I think it looks great. I definitely like the suggestion treating them like spaces. I definitely feel like that makes it a little bit easier because it's amazing seeing just like how it layers together by just doing the spaces. I think it looks great. I love the blue part at the bottom for the road.
Read this right? Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
really like that added something to it.
yeah, it gives the depth more. And what were you saying about spaces?
Just how you were saying when you first start tackling the painting,
Oh,
how
the
you think of it as
space.
spaces
Right.
versus because I feel like I would
Shapes,
just like do it like really small portions versus kind of broader
big.
the broader
Yeah,
shapes of how it is.
yeah, exactly. So use bigger shapes, bigger brush. Smaller shapes, smaller brush. So first, um, what is called first wash, that's always my bigger. This is sometimes even good that big as this.
Right.
And kind of just go pieces talk to each other. And if I have to leave any white, leave white. And it starts taking shape.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
I
really like it.
think
And also the
this is
different techniques. I like the technique of taking the brush and just, kind of shaking it
depth.
at the,
Yeah,
it's cool. It definitely adds that another dimension of like of
yes,
texture to the way the painting looks.
correct. See, this building, we did a lot of that versus this. It's a different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Now just need to do a little one push on the people because right now it's good, but it can add one more, the darkest dark on the corner or somewhere. I don't know where my these two people got. They merged and it's camouflage. in the greenery and all, so I won't do anything there because then it will look like pieces popped up. So I'm just letting it go. This is anyway not dominant. It's the main focal area is this. I probably will stop here. Otherwise, this half of the paintings are ruined by overwork.
Yeah, definitely.
So I forgot to do one main part canopy. This is the some pole for that. I'll stop. This side is a little empty, so this side probably can get some dark. So let us know what do you think? Any comments, when you compare this with, it's very hard to reproduce. And when you try next, if you want to, try totally different color scheme of them, because then it gets more interesting. Like I did not have this blue here, and I had a yellow canopy. I changed that to gray. Doesn't have orange.
It's cool to see the perspective of the lamp a bit closer to the road. I think that adds, like the
Yeah,
perspective of it is interesting.
right.
Like we said earlier, look in the chat. We put both of our email addresses in there. So if you would like to send us a picture, we would love to see them. And then, like I mentioned beforehand, we also will have this video posted to the Loudoun County Public Library online programs channel on YouTube. So if you'd like to, maybe do this painting again, by all means, it should be posted at the beginning of next week.
That's true. And if you like this style, I mean, you can go. I have a YouTube channel as well. You can look my name. It's Jyotsna Umesh Watercolors. And I upload one in every 2 weeks. So I have so far 51 videos there. Those are all free. Leverage those if you like landscape and, water related. There's a lot of boats and cafe kind. Was anybody able to finish it with us today, or you have some which you want to do later?
Yeah, no one said anything, so
Okay.
we had one of the attendees just said they just sent an email to you, Jyotsna. So,
Oh, nice.
and then a lot of people said they're almost there. So,
Excellent, excellent. Great to hear. Because this was tough. If you were almost there, you really did well. This was not
yeah,
a
I
very
mean,
simple piece.
yeah, it's not simple, but I know I'm looking forward to it. Another person said finished and actually painted the people. So,
Nice. Excellent. And share
all
your
right.
Jeremy when you do, because it's really not, you should always compare your with your previous work. If you're trying to improve, check
Yeah,
your work versus your older work. And that's how you, because otherwise it may get overwhelming and you may want to do, but you don't know the other artists. I mean, I'm a mid-level. I call myself amateur, but the great artists, they have 10,000, 20,000 paintings. They have so many thousands of hours. The brush mileage is so much that they know when they put it,
we just
like what is going to happen.
yeah we just had an attendee say this was her first time watercoloring a scene, that she had a lot of fun learning how just to work with the water and the paint. So thank you for attending, everyone. That I'm really am looking forward to seeing how it turned out.
You're right, right. And I'm really grateful that you're sharing your comments, feedback, because it's helpful. If you never knew, play around with how water and color interacts. It's really fun to see. What if you spoil some papers? Doesn't matter. I mean, it's still a creation.
And if you did like this program, like I said, we do have some other, the past months are on the YouTube site. So you could just, take an hour or two and do one of the pre-recorded programs if you enjoyed, working with the watercolors. I like them because you don't have to be perfect with it. You kind of,
Oh
like you said,
yeah,
you practice, you get better at using the brush strokes, how to do the tones. And
right.
I'm sure if you were with us next month for the next program, you'd probably see a vast improvement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like how one artist said, if you look at this, you know, one of his painting was too much right side, like, big tree, a lot of wind, mountains, water, and all. And he was thinking, what is missing? And he couldn't figure out. And after some time, he realized, oh, there is balance is missing. And he added three
Mm.
small birds, which actually balance the mountains and all that side because this was empty. So that was so interesting. I found that composition plays a very key role.
Yeah, it's funny. I hosted a photography class 2 weeks ago, and just that too, the balance of it. Sometimes you just
Yeah,
don't think about it, and then until you see a picture that's kind of unbalanced versus a picture that is balanced, and it's like a light
yeah,
bulb turned on. You realize, oh, that's what was missing.
right. And you don't know at that time. Like, he thought a lot and he couldn't figure out because this he painted beautifully. But then as soon as he added one or two birds, it balanced the entire. So think of the weight of like light versus small, small versus big, and it balances pretty good.
Okay, I guess we're almost done. So, like I said, we if you definitely send us a picture of your paintings, we would love to see them. And if you need to reference back to this program, it should be posted on the YouTube channel by the beginning of next week. So that will
Right.
be
And I
available
don't
as
see
well.
any emails. So in case if you have sent and I don't, but check the email, first name, last name at yahoo.com. That's the email.
Here, let's see. I can
And we
post it
would
one more
love
time.
to give back your feedback.
There you go, everyone. I just posted her email again. So
So it's
um,
Yahoo, Jeremy, right?
yeah,
Jyotsna at
yeah,
yahoo.com.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great.
All right. Well, thank you, Jyotsna. We appreciate your time and your your patience and your expertise. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's painting. So send them to us,
I
please.
totally enjoyed the conversation and seeing the comments, feedback, and
Yeah.
great. Thank you for hosting, Jeremy.
You're welcome, and thank you everyone for attending. I hope everyone has a safe and relaxing weekend. Hopefully, this helped to calm your mind down, and we'll see everyone soon. Hopefully, and like I said, if you like painting, if you want to get interested in drawing, we do have some portrait sketching classes in the next month in person at 3 of the branches. So we would love to see you in person. So, well, thank you. We
That's
appreciate it.